Greetings. I have something pretty sweet here. This just arrived from Japan, and I get these every so often whenever I have a little bit of extra cash to spend on something cool that I can't get here in the US or even on like eBay or, just, there's Japanese stuff that I want. And I figured I may as well just show you guys what I got this time around because there's some exciting stuff in here for me. And if you like the kind of stuff I like, you're probably going to think that there's some cool stuff in here too. So, yeah. And yes, I did actually end up getting this stuff from just bids on Yahoo Auctions Japan, which is pretty much like their version of eBay. And all these cool Japanese newspapers. I always like when they package them with these. They're fun to look at. I just like looking at ads from other countries. So, look at that. Golf clubs. Okay, so they've packaged this up pretty nicely. This is a lot of the items that I just got separately. There's one big one down in here in the bottom. We'll get to that in a moment, but they packaged this up quite nicely. I use a service called Noppin, Noppin, and it is a proxy service, and they'll put the bids in for you and take care of like getting everything together and packaging up nicely and dealing with the sellers and stuff because a lot of them won't ship to America. And so these guys make that way easier. And here's one that I just got mainly for the box. I think this basically translates to like Eternity, Master, Virtuoso, something like that. It's not actual wood, but man, it looks like it. This is just such a classy package. I believe this is a game of shogi or something like that. I've never played anything like this, but really I just wanted it for this package and presentation. I mean, look at that. Nice little cutout area for a 3.5-inch floppy disk. That is just pure class. This is such a cool design. I like unusual boxes and art, so even if I don't know how to play it or... Also grabbed this here. This is Take the A-Train 3, which was released over here in the US back in the day as just A-Train, but it was actually the third one in the series. So yes, I actually have reviewed this quite a while back, and I just wanted the original Japanese version here, 1991 by Art Dink, and it's another one of those with a super classy package. I mean, look at this. This is just it's wonderful. How cool is that? This is just nice. That is such a neat floppy disk holder there. It's got the documentation. Man. Very cool. As a Maxis fan, there's several things in here that are Maxis sort of releases, even though this one wasn't Maxis over in Japan. Maxis over here, and so of course I'm interested in getting it. And this is actually the original PC 9800 version, which you can see right there. So this won't work on your normal personal computer, the IBM standard. This is awesome. Raid on Bungling Bay. This is Will Wright's first game before Maxis was even a thing, and it was released over in Japan with this really just ominous looking cover art here. This is for the original Famicom by Hudson Soft. And yeah, it's got the cartridge in there and all that kind of stuff. This is probably the best condition one of these I've ever seen. You occasionally will see them in the US eBay auctions, but I mean, this was like, 400 yen or something. So really cheap and looks better than any of the ones I've seen here in the US. Something else you just don't see over here, or at least not in this version. This is Overdriven 3 Hot Pursuit and Overdriven 4 High Stakes, more or less, which is Need for Speed 3 and 4 for the PlayStation 1. I don't believe these actually got PC releases in Japan, but they all got them on the PS1. And some of the earlier games are on the Saturn. I have the earlier ones, Overdriven 1 and 2, as well as like Skyline GTR and Memorial and there's just a bunch of interesting Need for Speed versions from Japan. And these were two that I did not have. And in fact, I think they stopped calling them Overdriven after this. I could be wrong there, but I believe that after this they just went over to another naming scheme entirely. SimCity 2000 Special Edition, the Japanese edition. And so, other than the box, there's not all that different about this, but I think this is great. One of my favorite games of all time. It's got that really nice shiny reflective surface there. The engraved signatures of Will Wright and Fred Haslam, as well as this system requirement sticker. That's just very cool. This is actually the Windows version. At this point, the previous SimCity games came out on like the PC, the NEC PC series. So I believe the 88 for the very first one, and I think there was one for the 9800. But this one is, of course, just Windows 95. So this should work really just fine on any of my computers that run Windows 95. Again, with that very classy packaging there right in the middle. I love that stuff. Very cool registration card. Urban Renewal Kit. I mean, this looks absolutely brand new. It always impresses me how many games are just so incredibly taken care of. Like, just, they're really cared for, apparently. In Japan, I find way more luck finding good quality PC game boxes that look pretty much immaculate inside and out. All right. More reflective surfaces. Look at this. Sim People. It's got that sort of holofoil thing going on there. This is Sim People Deluxe. Happens to come with the first two expansions, which would be Livin' Large and House Party, or whatever the Japanese named equivalents are. I have actually tried this out with my other version of Sim Deluxe, or Sim People Deluxe, and it's really no different other than some of the Japanese characters and some sounds and things like that. But it's just cool to have these other boxes as a collector. Shiny things, shiny things. And that's just a neat presentation there. I like that. It's a little thicker, wider, I suppose, than the American releases. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh cool. All right, look. So I'm a huge fan of this game, Pod. But this has like the cover art straight from the intro video to the game, but it's in high resolution. This is the only time I have ever seen this particular art in higher resolution. And just look at the back of this box. Isn't that amazing? Like, oh, maybe it's not to you, but to me, this is the coolest. I actually still run the fan site Pod Freak. I've had that thing going forever, and I have so many versions of Pod, and this is one of my most wanted. So as soon as I saw it come up, I had to have it. I mean, got the lettering and everything here above and below. Maybe someone can translate that for me. It's kind of hard to see, but I think that's so cool. Wow. Here we go. Look at this. Now this right here. I was not really going to get this until I noticed that this is a hard clamshell case. This is ridiculous. So this is SimTown for Windows 95, obviously. It's interesting to me, though, because I also have this in another form. It was called SimCity Junior, and that was for the consoles. And this, the PC version, is apparently they just called it SimTown. So I'm not sure why the console had it as SimCity Junior, and this one is just SimTown. Maybe this is a later release. No idea. No idea. But it was put out by Imagineer over there, and otherwise, it's really just the same game as far as I know. I haven't actually played this version yet, so I hope to. I mean, look at this. This looks like a big case for a Neo Geo game or something. It's huge. Nice little user's manual there. Huh. That's really neat. More registration goodness. And a quick start guide. Oh, yes. I assume this is pretty much just going to be the same. I mean, yeah, even the startup right there. I mean, this is the start screen, the auto run. Splash screen, that's identical. I just like how this is made. Look at this. Is unbelievably sturdy. There's no there's plastic everywhere, and it's thick, and this is just like the most indestructible game box I have for PC games ever. It's crazy. All right. So the rest of this is probably going to be, yeah, this looks like it. I will show you here in a moment as soon as I get this unwrapped. Ooh, basic power cord there. Nothing special. This, on the other hand, oh yeah. All right, so if you know what this is, then you know what's coming in the rest of the box probably. But yeah, look at this gloriously brown keyboard. Feels pretty good too. Very Commodore-esque is what that feels like. Same style of kind of keys too. The shape and everything in there. That, oh, why are the coils so big? Oh, that's ridiculous. Holy crap, that is overbuilt. Look at this thing. Okay, let's see the rest of it. Yeah, this service doesn't play around with shipping things internationally. They do a very good job shipping computers, large things, small things. I've never had anything come to my doorstep broken or anything, but look at that. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, yeah. Comically huge cord. Oh, that is so funny to me. Oh, but yeah, look at this thing. This is just, isn't this great? I mean, it's hideous, but at the same time, I think it's really classy. So this is the NEC personal computer, the PC8801. And it, again, like the 98 and the other games that I had over there that not quite IBM compatible, neither is this, but it does run its own version of DOS and BASIC and Microsoft stuff like that, but you know, this one I'm not as familiar with as I am some of the later ones, and you might be asking, well, why didn't I get a later model? Well, that's just because I have some videos planned, and this is going to play a part in it, this very just original PC8801. I mean, and it is tested, it does work. In fact, we're going to look around the back here. Check that out. So, whoops, we got the power RS-232 there. We got a printer port, some settings for CRT, you know, jumper stuff, dip switches, external floppy disk connector right here, and you have different monitors and things like that that are going to plug in here. The thing is, while this will use some sort of composite connection, I believe, for a monitor, I don't have the cable to do that. It's mostly RGB, I believe. I don't know. I think that's the cassette tape port. You know, I don't know a lot of things about this, and I can't find much about it, so that's a big reason I got it, is because I just wanted to explore it myself, see what I can get to work and things on here. But yeah, once I figure out how to get this thing displayed, I'm going to do that. And again, I don't have like a floppy disk drive for it. There's no drives built in or anything like that. It's just a big old honking unit. And this thing is long too. That's maybe about as wide as an IBM PC, if not wider. This is of course not as tall, but this just looks, this is a cool design to me. I've always liked the designs of Japanese computers, and this is one I've wanted for a long time. I like these switches a whole lot. That reset over here, that power switch. That's really cool. Keyboard goes right in here. I don't know why there's a light that says BASIC. I don't know. That's what's so exciting about this. I know nothing about it. I will be getting, like I said, a later model, one of the later PC88, like 21s or whatever, that have much more easy to work with software and hardware. And they got much more IBM PC-like in later years, but still ran their own operating system and their own games, which is why these are so exciting. This early one, I mean, this is like, what, 1982, 83, so it's pretty old, and it's not going to do a whole lot except look really cool. I'm going to clean it up, make a display model about it, and maybe some review videos and other things as I dive into the world of Japanese computing. This is my first Japanese computer, by the way. I do have an MSX2, but that one's a Philips. It came from the Netherlands, so it's a Dutch machine. This, on the other hand, is Japanese all the way. There was an American version of this at some point, but those are even rarer. And if you're wondering how much this cost, I mean, this one right here, well, altogether, everything was about 10,000 yen, so a little over $100 or something like that. It was the shipping that was the real pain because of how heavy this unit is. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. So it was about $200 to ship everything you saw in that box. But considering I only paid about $100 for everything altogether, I mean, this is stuff I'm never going to ever find here in the US unless I go to some really obscure shows or something and people have things for sale, and then they're going to go for a whole lot more than this. So I mean, this computer for like, you know, $40 or less, whatever it was, I mean, that's awesome to me. I just think this is great. So yeah, stay tuned for hopefully some videos on this and other NEC machines, and I do hope to get like a Sharp X68000 and some, FN Towns things. I have a whole lot of plans. I really want to get like a Japanese computer special or two going in the future. But, progress. It'll take a while, so don't expect them anytime soon, but I am making progress. So, yeah. Thanks for watching!